Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, Bitcoin took a very big hit, and the majority of you guys were most likely watching this as, well, it's the only news that you can kind of see today. A lot of these top coins which have been popping off over the last week or so have also fallen off like crazy. I'm talking double digits. And today, I want to talk about all the most important news in the crypto space right now, and specifically about what made the crypto prices crash today. A long story short is that Bitcoin and the entire crypto market is following the stock indices. I've described this to you guys 1,000 times before, but before we move on though, make sure you check out the link down below for our 2,500 XRP giveaway. There's a 1% chance I'm gonna forget to link it again. If I do, just check the previous video out, or no, you can't see the link. Just go to my previous video and it will be in the description there. But otherwise, the link is down below. Make sure you check it out. There's a couple of different ways to enter. 2,500 XRP, 8 more days left. Make sure you enter right now. A link is down below. There's only about, let's say, 500 people or so who've entered. So right now, your chance of winning 500 XRP is 1 in 100, let's say, which is pretty good odds if you ask me. All right, having said that, we talked about the indices just now for about a second, but it's very important to understand that the S&P and the Nasdaq and everything have gone down tremendously today. So you can see here the Bitcoin and everything is not looking good. And I might be a little bit late to actually publishing the news perfectly on time, because when I last checked, things were really, really dark. But obviously, things change as the night progresses onward. Again, guys, don't look at this number over here. I believe that this just represents the value change over the last day, so to speak. And this day that they take is from 12 o'clock on forward. It's not the last 24 hours. Because if we look back about 24 hours from our current point, you can see that we've fallen from, let's say, about 42.87. So let's say 4,300 to about 4,150. Pretty significant fall, $150 in that sense, which is very significant. And obviously, a lot of these indices had kind of the same or a similar faith. And obviously, the crypto market reacted in the same similar fashion. And I still honestly believe that this is due to the Federal Reserve's actions with the interest rate. But if it's not, then it has to do most likely with one bigger movement that's happening around the world right now as we speak. What's happening? Well, we saw it in the UK, and we're most likely going to see it shortly in quite a lot of other countries. They're starting to warn for a recession. And I'm not saying that them warning is all of a sudden the sign that it's actually going to happen, because, again, we know that governments don't necessarily predict in the best way, shape, or form possible. But when they start to warn the general public that things can very well go wrong, well, you better bet your ass that it's most likely going to be way worse than they prepare you for. At least that's my expectation. Now, having said that, those both can be kind of reasonings as to why the S&P and Nasdaq fell. And I already described it to you guys about 3 days ago, I think. With this newest announcement of interest rates, I expect the S&P, Nasdaq to fall. And there's a very slim chance that Bitcoin this time around is going to show some inverse correlation and start pumping. But I honestly do not expect it yet. Even though Bitcoin is acting as a crazy risk-off asset already. We saw it at the start yesterday when I guess the S&P and things were doing good. But today when things are falling down, we can just clearly see again that the correlation is there. It's not really going to move anytime soon until we get a lot more money poured into it, and where people really start to buy Bitcoin for the use case of being against the traditional system. But I think that will mostly happen when we do get back into that heavy recession. Not yet, I don't think. All right, then, very big news. Terra, the foundation, leaps into, I like the LFG, Luna Foundation Guard, or something. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for anymore. Well, most like, Luna Foundation Guard. Yeah, there we go. Leaps into top 10 largest Bitcoin whales with an extra 1.5 billion BTC to buy. Yeah, I shared this news over on Twitter a little bit ago. In a tweet today, confirmed a report on CNBC that it had purchased an additional 37,863 Bitcoin, or approximately a $1.5 billion worth. And that's pretty freaking crazy. I keep telling you guys, Terra is on a really strange warpath. And I'm not talking about a warpath against us. I'm talking about a warpath to become the number one biggest Bitcoin firm, basically. They're doing a really good job at it. It's crazy, crazy, crazy to watch. Staggering. Talking about staggering. Wall Street staggers with vicious $1.3 trillion stock sell-off. As I just described, today was a really significant day. In a sharp about face, investors sold stocks, bonds, and crypto on Thursday. At one point, the S&P index lost about 4%, which is like the most that I've seen in a very long time, specifically since June 2020. But I don't remember looking at the time, so this is like the biggest loss I've seen in a very long while. And the tech-heavy NASDAQ dropped 5.7%, the most since March of that year as well, 2020. If you guys remember, March 2020 was one of the craziest years. But that's, again, it's for me, 2020 feels like last year, but it's 2 years ago. So when we're saying March 2020, it's not last year. It's 2 years and 2 months ago. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. But March 2020 was one of the craziest periods for crypto, craziest periods for stocks, crazy periods for anybody, anywhere, anything. It's really a crazy time. But the fact that the prices are falling as significantly as it did at that point, yeah, that is interesting to think about, I guess, right? So the great puking that's happening, I didn't expect that. Says Kim Forrest, founder and chief investment officer at Buckup Capital Partners. We live for the days where we've made people's money. That's our job. And it's cold comfort that I'm losing people less money. Okay. Speculative corners of the market were amongst the hardest hits, with an index of expensive software stocks sliding more than 10%, the most since mid-March of 2020. Again, March 2020 was the craziest period. An ETF tracking newly public companies lost 9% at one point, while non-profitable tech firms lost roughly 11% as Bitcoin, largest cryptocurrency, dropped by the same amount to below 36,000, which was also really, really crazy. There's still a lot of fear out there, so Dennis, head of market structure and a proprietary trader at Bright Trading. People thought yesterday was the green light, but now they're getting caught again. Retail traders keep coming in and getting chopped up. The contrarians have been winning 2022. And there's a really important statement in that, and that is, very often, once you think you're in the clear, that's when the actual penetration happens, right? That's when the butthole splits open, and that's when it gets the roughest, so to speak. Why? Because what we saw, for example, with the interest rate announcement is we didn't get anything worse than expected, no. But the consequences of that are pretty severe, right? We're seeing economic stagnation come in quite rapidly, and it's actively being, I guess, tried or imposed. Maybe that's the right word to put it. We thought for a second that the market reacted positively, which was contrary to what I believed would be the logical way to go. And when everything was doing really well, people start to FOMO in, thinking, oh yeah, we're going to freaking pump. I saw a lot of people over on Twitter get really excited and say, oh, I have a crazy long position open. And then all of a sudden, boom, we fell right back to the ground. And a lot of whales are making some crazy freaking money. But it's a good opportunity to buy some coins, I guess, because Terra is also coming in hot. And they probably got some very good freaking analysts because it's such a great company, I guess, or such a, wealthy company, influential company. Since they're controlling the stable coins, they probably know when a good time to buy is, right? At least that's what my thought process would be, or is. Talking about good times to buy, Binance has apparently invested $500 million in Elon Musk's Twitter acquisition, which is scary. Not exactly sure if this is a good or bad thing. Remember, guys, you might think that this is really nice. Oh, Binance, wow, crypto getting represented on Twitter. Why is this nice? If you're an XRP supporter, this is really scary straight at the bat. But more importantly, Binance invested $500 million, whereas Vi Capital invested $700 million. Sequoia Capital made an investment share of $800 million, and Lawyers J. Ellison Revocable Trust invested $1 billion. The thing is, they're ridiculously big in this specific deal here. It says they're the 5th largest investor financing his acquisition. That is scary, all right? It says small contribution to the cause. Even though they're not going to have any influence yet, the fact that they're so deep into Twitter kind of makes me scared from some perspective. Why? As I said before, CZ and the Binance as a whole has already controlled CoinMarketCap now. So they have the biggest aggregator for crypto prices. They have Binance itself, which is the biggest cryptocurrency exchange. They're going to start expanding into all corners of this realm. And I said before, CZ is most likely one of the most influential people on Earth pretty soon. I would say he's already one of the top influential people in the world, but he's going to be one of the most important people in the world really quickly. But he's also among the wealthiest already. We can already see it. He will most likely be, quote unquote, richest or wealthiest person on earth on paper, sort of, rather shortly as well, I believe. Having said that, though, with these acquisitions, I just get kind of afraid that Binance is going to be too big for their own good. But we'll see how that goes, I guess. I had the same article, I think, twice just talking about... Oh, no, this is actually another part about Binance being too big for its own good. No, that's not really true. This is actually just a nice little announcement about Binance. They apparently have been approved in the first European country. France's acceptance of Binance as a digital asset provider is the first step to getting all of Europe on board with major crypto exchanges. And again, just very nice announcement. Nothing really too bad to say about that. You know, we kind of got to end it off on a positive note. But to not stay on a positive note, because I'm a contrarian, Bitcoin price wipes out 3 weeks of liquidity. Is 36,000 the final low? A lot of people thought that we were finally back in the clear and we were going to start pumping. And that's, of course, when the deepest dull. Wait a minute. How do you say that word in English? Dip? Yeah, I guess the deepest dip. No, wait a minute. In Dutch, it's dull. D-A-L. It's like a valley where you have like the... Wait a minute. What in the world is that word? I have to look it up on the internet. Give me a second. Okay, now we know. I think valley of mine was right. I've never heard the vale or the glen. Is that a real thing that people use, that word? Oh, you just, I'm gonna climb out the glen. No way, right? Sag? The dell? The dale? Nah, never heard that before in my life. That's, again, you see, Dusty BC Crypto News, also vocabulary lessons. By the way, it's very far into the night, but I really wanted to get this update out to you guys before I woke up again, so to speak, because it's still relevant right now and it might not be relevant again tomorrow. But here's just a quick little update on why things were crashing so significantly today. And I guess also a little warning that it might not turn around just like that tomorrow, purely because we know what the reasoning for this dump has been, and there's not necessarily anything that's showcasing that, oh, we're going to really pump straight back up again. It just depends on what the other indices are going to do. S&P and NASDAQ, if they're going to keep falling, well, Bitcoin is most likely going to follow the same path. And if it doesn't, well, Bitcoin will most likely also prosper in the same process. So yeah, that was it for right now. Make sure you check out the giveaway. A link is down below. If you want to trade crypto, make sure you check out Bybit. A link for that, link for that is down below too. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.